Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. This is Nate. If you watch my show, as always, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight show for UFC 245. I know some of you were looking forward to hearing me talk about this card for reasons that if you know me well, you'll know why. Post-fight rundown of the main card. And so I got the stats here for the main event. I'll save that for last. I'll save the best for last. So let's start off with the bantamweight bout that kicked off the main card. Petr Yan versus Uriah Faber. And this one I got wrong on my predictions. It was a KO head kick, round 3 for Yan, and or Yan, however you want to say it. Faber looked good up until the knockout, but there was some back and forth, and Yan was just the better fighter that day. And I think Uriah Faber could still bounce back from this loss. I mean, he lost to a top 5 guy. It's not like he lost to a scrub, and he beat Ricky Simone before this and made it look easy against a guy that was way younger than him. So I think Uriah Faber will definitely bounce back and have some more good fights and some more wins in the octagon in the time to come. Anyhow, then also on the bantamweight division, we had Marlon Moraes versus Jose Aldo. This one, I believe I had it Marlon for the first round, and then rounds 2 and 3 for Aldo, and a lot of people scored it for Aldo too, I believe. But Moraes had some good shots landed still. Yeah, it was a split decision win for Aldo. I do think they got it wrong. I think, on my pre-fight I picked Moraes to win, and he did win the decision, but I think the judges got this one wrong. Is it the worst robbery in the history of MMA? No. Is it a robbery? Yes. And now there's talk of Aldo versus Cejudo at bantamweight. I think that would be a good fight. Why not? This is one of those circumstances where normally I'm against people coming off losses getting title shots, but Aldo's a legend in the sport and he was robbed. So this is one of those things I could make an exception for. Then in the women's bantamweight division, we had Amanda Nunes defending her women's bantamweight title against Germaine de Randamie. This fight pretty much turned out how I expected it. Takedown, ground and pound, takedown, ground and pound. Basically that's how it was all 5 rounds. And it was just rinse and repeat, as they say. Nunes looked even better, even though she didn't finish Randamie in this one, and she finished her quick in the first one. I think she still looked better. Nunes is on another level right now. So this is a big title win at bantamweight, and I think Germaine should maybe try her luck at featherweight again. Why not? They need more contenders at featherweight, and I think have like 2-3 good wins at featherweight, and then maybe rematch Nunes at featherweight. I think that could be a good matchup down the line if Germaine were to get better and rack up some wins. Anyhow, on to the co-main event in the featherweight division. We had Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. Max Holloway looking to defend his featherweight title for the umpteenth time. And I called it on my pre-fight show that Max Holloway would get this one, would not get this one done, and Alexander would be the new featherweight champ of the world, and that's exactly what happened. I think I said like 3rd round knockout on the pre-fight, but he won unanimous decision on this card. 50-45 for one of the judges and 48-47 on the other two. I think that was a little ridiculous because I had it all 5 rounds cleanly for Alexander. I don't know what fight those judges saw. It's just, you know, looking at it, it was pretty clean win for Alexander. And, excuse me. Yeah, this was, you know, I would like to see a rematch down the line. A immediate rematch, I don't know. Maybe give Max a tune-up fight, but if not, then there's worse things that happen to MMA, and also he's been a dominant champ, so if you don't give him a tune-up fight, then why not? Why not throw him in there? Yeah, Alexander is the real deal. I mean, this guy's beat Aldo, he's beat Mendez, and now Holloway. So Alexander Volkanovski is the real deal, and he's now your new UFC featherweight champ. So on to the main event. By the way, going into this main event, I was 3-1 on my picks, so I was looking pretty good on my picks on this main card. So on my pre-fight show, I did pick Colby Covington to win by decision, and had he lasted another 50 seconds, it could have happened. There's a lot of debate there with the scoring and how that 5th round would have gone for Colby had he made it through that round. But I mean, he was getting pounded on, and if they just let it go on, then obviously Usman would have won that round, and possibly, you know, if he kept doing what he was doing to Colby, then I could have scored that a 10-8 round, and who knows. Basically I had it the first 2 rounds for Colby. The rounds 3 and 4 are coin toss. Could have gone either way. So if it went to a decision and Usman won a decision, I wouldn't be shocked. And if Colby won, I wouldn't necessarily be shocked either. However, I got the stats here. So when we look at the stats, blue is for Colby, red is for Usman. Shows that Colby landed 39 significant strikes round 1 versus Usman's 34. So by math, as far as I'm concerned, he won that round. Then we have 41-40 in favor of Colby in round 2. Again, math, I would say Colby won that round, but you know, you got to also factor in, you know, octagon control, aggression, and whatnot. So you could say Usman won round 2, but I like to go off significant strikes and strikes landed overall first. And so I would say, you know, Colby won that round. Now round 3, clearly Usman won round 3, 29 strikes to 8. Round 4, it was 36-35. So, you know, again, I would say Colby won round 4, but you could argue Usman won round 4 as well, and I wouldn't have much of a debate there. An argument, you could argue either way. And then round 5, it was 37-19, obviously in favor of Usman. And so, I mean, who knows if the striking just completely stopped and these stats were the final stats and went to a judge's scorecard. Who knows how it would have looked to all 3 judges. You know, some people are saying that it, you know, could have favored Colby, yeah, it was just, yeah, it was a tough fight to score, and I think the stoppage was only slightly premature, but you know, Colby wasn't, you know, who knows how much he had left in the tank at that point. The body shots from Usman, I think, is what did the trick here. I think that's what won Usman the fight, because when Usman was landing those body shots, it was taking away the gas tank of Colby. And had Usman not landed the body shots, and Colby may have had much more gas and, you know, gone for, you know, the shots, the put on the pressure. But yeah, his gas tank being shot didn't happen. So I mean, Usman got to give credit to Usman in terms of fight skills. He did do a good performance and come in with a good game plan. I say at this point have Usman fight either Leon Edwards or Jorge Masvidal, and then whichever one Usman doesn't fight, I think Colby should fight, and then the winner of Colby versus the other, one of those guys should get the winner of Leon or Jorge versus Usman for the title. I think that would be a great thing because Colby's still up there. This was a close fight. It wasn't like he went in there and got dominated, all 5 rounds completely in his super lopsided stats. Yeah, I think it just makes sense to do a fight like that. Maybe Jorge versus Usman for the belt, Leon versus Colby, #1 contender fight. I think that could work. You got Tyron Woodley still lurking around in the mix of trying to get his belt back. So yeah, the welterweight division's looking interesting right now, at least for now. Now, if Usman wins his next 2 or 3 fights at welterweight, then it could look kind of like it's just the next guy who's going to get squashed sort of ordeal. But if Usman loses, then it shakes things up, and then if that person defends the belt once or twice and then loses, that shakes things up, and so there's some excitement for the time being at welterweight. It's a good time to be an MMA fan of the UFC welterweight division right now. Anyways, so yeah, this was overall a pretty good card. The prelims, Jessica Eye, Brandon Moreno fights were phenomenal. If you don't have Fight Pass, get Fight Pass and watch those fights. And also, the Irene Aldana fight was phenomenal on the ESPN2 prelims. Anyways, so that wraps up my post-fight show for this main card. As always, stay tuned for my pre-fight for the Korean Zombie versus Frankie Edgar UFC Fight Night in South Korea. And as always, until then, see ya!